Carolina State. Looking at these two teams, Jackson State, of course, winners of the SWAC. South Carolina State, winners of the MEAC. Looking at both these ball clubs, Jacoby Morgan, the quarterback for Jackson State, a 2,000-yard pass, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. On the other side, Eric Phoenix, a really good quarterback for South Carolina State, 2,469 passing yards on the season, 20 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Then you look at the running back position for South Carolina State. Kazarius Adams, he's a junior, 5'8", 188 pounds, small guy, 94 carries on the season for 500 rushing yards and a touchdown. And on the other side, Irv Mulligan, that bad man at Jackson State, the SWAC Offensive Player of the Year at the running back position. 179 carries for 1,168 yards and 11 touchdowns on the season. And then at the wide receivers position, you look at Fort Tillion for Jackson State, 35 receptions, 584 yards, and 9 touchdowns on the other side. Caden Hyde, an explosive ball player for South Carolina State. Very explosive. Somebody to watch out for today. 58 receptions, 192 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He can get you in a return game or whatever else, but Jackson State has their own guy that's explosive as well, and Travis Terrell Jr., number 0. We'll see what South Carolina State even kick it anywhere near him. And one thing I like about Jackson State is special teams, the return game, the kicking game, whatever. They can pin you on the other side of the field and flip the field on you in the punt game. They got a field goal kicker that can kick it anywhere within 50 yards and in. And then on the return game with Travis Terrell, a guy that can bring it at any given time and give them the explosion that they need, whether it's for a touchdown or great field position. You look at both of these teams in their last 5 games, they're all on winning streaks. Of course, South Carolina State wrapped up the season 53-21 over Norfolk State. They've been rested, right, since November the 23rd. Jackson State just wrapped up regular season. Well, not just necessarily regular season, but before this championship, last week in the SWAC championship on the 7th, a 41-13 victory over Southern University. Today's ball game is going to be kicked off at 11 a.m., 12 Central, 12 Eastern. I get my Centrals and Eastern. 11 a.m. Central, 12 Eastern. So they're already up. I think somebody said in the comment section, the pregame pep rally or whatever is already underway. The spread is 2.5 in South Carolina State's favor. They're minus 2.5. What y'all think? Who y'all think gonna get this one? Chennis Berry, T.C. Taylor. Chennis Berry, hell of a job in year 1, coming over from Benedict College, giving Benedict in those 2 years he was there the best seasons they ever seen, taking them to the Division II Division II playoffs. And then you look at T.C. Taylor rebuilding last year. He comes back and then runs through conference play. Didn't lose a game this year in the SWAC. Now you got these two coaches, year 1 and year 2, in the Celebration Bowl. I personally, who do I like in today's matchup? I don't know the health of the quarterbacks for Jackson State. I get it there. He said they're going to go with Jacoby and Morgan. I know people say SWAC love and all that, but I'm looking at the team. I'm going to go South Carolina State. I think Coach Chennis Berry and Eric Phoenix efficiency. You're going to see a quarterback against this Jackson State defense today. I know Jackson State has a very nasty defense. They get after you. They shut down the run. But you're going to see a quarterback better than any quarterback that Jackson State has seen thus far this year get an opportunity to actually make those plays against that Jackson State secondary. South Carolina State has receivers. They have playmakers all over the place. They played a tough schedule this year as well. So seeing a team like Jackson State is not going to be shell-shocking to them. They played a pretty tough FCS schedule also and got a victory over a pretty tough Tennessee Tech team who also beat Tennessee State, who won a share of the Big South Ohio Valley Conference. I like the matchup. Aside from ULM and Lane College, Jackson State has only seen SWAC opponents. Nothing against that, but South Carolina State is battle-tested. I like them in this matchup. I really do like South Carolina State in this matchup. And I think the difference maker is going to be Eric Phoenix at the quarterback position. His ability to be able to make the throws that you didn't see the quarterbacks in the SWAC against Jackson State make. Jackson's defensive line versus South Carolina State's offensive line. And we all know Chennis Berry, when it comes to an offensive line, he can coach. The trenches is going to be something to watch today. I think there's going to be a really great battle of watching that South Carolina State offensive line take on that Jackson State D-line. And Jackson State is big up front. I'm just here to tell you, Nobles and the rest of those guys are big up front. If I want to circle something to watch today, it's going to be the trenches. Because we know what we know what Coach Chennis Berry is known for. And we've seen what Jackson State is good at. This is going to be a hell of a game. I'm looking forward to the matchup. I think both teams are. And see, the thing about it, why I think it's going to come down to being a great game, I think it's actually going to be a 3-point game. I got this game 27-24, South Carolina State. I think South Carolina State jumps out early. And then Jackson State do what they do best, make it a second half. Jackson State, no doubt about it, is a second half team. Their defense steps up. Their offense make the plays when it's time to make the plays in the second half. I believe that's what happens today. South Carolina State is going to jump out early on Jackson. It's going to look like, ooh. And then Jackson is going to do what they do in the second half, wake up, get back into this thing, and make it a ball game. I got it 27-24. I think it's going to come down to the end of the game. I think South Carolina State maybe wins this off a field goal. That's just me. That's what I'm thinking, though. That's what I'm going to roll with. I'm going to take South Carolina State and Chennis Berry. I think they can get it done. As I'm just thinking right now. I'm kind of all over the place. But I'm going to roll with South Carolina State. 27-21, I think they get it done. I think South Carolina State become your black college national champions today. Otherwise, if it is not, I mean, it's Jackson State. Hey,